I think we can all agree that we have good habits and we have bad habits. And now really what is a habit? And a habit is something that we kind of do for some sort of what we think is self-preservation, but it's almost something that we do that we've almost made unconscious, right? Like, this is just what I do and I don't really know why I do it. But for sometimes it's very helpful. Like, I can go and brush my teeth in the morning and at night and I turn my brain off and it all gets done somehow, and it's just an accepted fact, right? So we'd put that in the good habit category, I hope. And then the bad habit would be like, oh man, I check my phone, right? When I wake up in the morning. And it's like, well, is that a good habit for me? Like, is that giving me any benefit, or is that actually just doing something weird to my brain when I can't even see straight in the morning when I first wake up? So maybe we'd have to put that like in the bad habit category. But the funny thing is, we have all these different habits, and whether they're considered good or bad, and sometimes that is because we are placing a good or bad on it, right? It's like, who's to decide? But the reality is we are the aggregate of our habits. And so if we have a lot of good habits that move us towards health and wellness, that's a great thing. And we should kind of aggregate in that direction. And if we have more of these negative habits, bad habits, that are going to move us away from health and wellness, then that should take us further away, aggregate us away from health and wellness, right? So what we want to try to figure out is, can we take a look, can we be super objective and look and see, well, am I more plus than minus? And if so, am I getting better? Or maybe these have different weights. So maybe I'm doing 3 really good things, but I have a really bad habit over here that's like overdoing it. I don't smoke, but let's say I was working out, eating well and all this stuff, and then I was smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Like, that might just totally overwhelm any positive effect that I'm getting over here, right? Like, again, totally using that just as an example for what it is. So we really want to try to look at that kind of thing. I'm a huge fan of data, so I like to track things like my sleep and my activity. I use this Whoop thing. You guys have probably heard me talk about that before. And I think that it's great because you can start to look at, well, with my exercise and my habits and my eating and the timing of when I eat and when I go to bed and what's my sleep routine and am I drinking enough water and what is it that I'm doing that's good or bad? Can I have some sort of a sense of that? And again, am I trending this way in health and wellness, or am I trending this way in health and wellness? So the habits are huge. And a lot of these apps or systems, again, like the Whoop, they have a journal that you can customize and say like, yep, I did breath work last night and I meditated, and did I watch TV last night? Like whatever it might be, like there's all these different things. You can kind of micro it as much as you want. But when we're not really getting to where we want to be, and whether that's how we feel, like how we're performing, how we're thinking, how we're sleeping, whatever it is, we should always look at those habits, because those habits are going to be the key to our success. Again, if we have more heavily weighted positive habits than our negative habits, then hopefully we're pushing it in the right direction. And it gives us a clear idea of what we need to do. It's like, yep, I changed one thing. If I'm going to be very scientific about it, I changed one thing, and what was the result? It's like, holy smokes, made a massive change. Or wow, I did change one thing and nothing happened. It's like, well, maybe that didn't really move it for you, and that's okay too. But that allows us to kind of select good and bad habits, right? So I would very much encourage you guys to do that. Remember, these habits sometimes we get into them for who knows why, and they stick, and it's just these automatic behaviors. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Sometimes you don't even need to put a good or a bad on it. Is it doing something that seems like it's getting me better, or is it maybe something that's overall getting me worse? Whether I enjoy it or not, doesn't matter. Which direction is it moving? That line, that is what should ultimately kind of guide how you feel about whether a habit is positive or negative. So if you're not sure, if you don't want to invest in an app or anything like that, just journal it out, write it down. How do you feel the next day? Do this consistently, and you can start playing with some of your behaviors, see if it makes a difference.